Welcome to the Market Mindset. We are the hub for news, results, and CEO interviews focusing the junior commodities sector. We provide market analysis and perspective that will help position you for solid returns. If that sounds like something you're interested in, you can help support us by liking this video, subscribing to our channel, and clicking the notification bell. For more info, you can visit our website. All links are in the description below. Now let's get into today's video.
Good morning, everyone. It's Andrew with the Market Mindset. It's a pleasure to catch up with Stephen Hansen, who's the president, CEO, and director over at Acme Lithium. And if you'll remember, Acme Lithium has a number of projects. Two, I think, that really stood out in my mind were the Clayton Valley and Fish Lake Valley projects, but also they have ones in Manitoba. I know last week there was some drilling updates, and today you've got a big conference today as well, so I don't want to keep you too long. Lots to talk about. How are you doing today, Stephen? It's great to see you again.
Great to see you as well, Andrew. A pleasure to be here today. And as you mentioned, it's a busy next few days. I'm at Fastmarkets Lithium and Battery Conference here in Phoenix, Arizona. And it really is probably one of the biggest lithium conferences in the world. People from around the world are coming here to attend numerous panels and information sessions and presentations from the largest producers of lithium in the world to commodity companies, to explorers and developers, to technology companies. So it really is a hub of activity. It's been very busy already this morning, and excited to be part of this conference here over the next 3 days, presenting Acme's opportunities and projects that we're actively busy with these days.
It'll be great to catch up with you after as well to get a sense of like the feel from people there. What the we've got obviously depressed markets, and the markets itself are a little bit negative, but I would suspect there's probably a lot of bridled enthusiasm, like a pent up, maybe stored up enthusiasm with where the larger scale macro picture of where lithium is going.
Well, I think you're right. I mean, there's absolutely a lot of enthusiasm as to what's happening in the industry right now. But there's also great concern, as I've mentioned in previous interviews. There is a major crisis going on, certainly in North America, when it comes to the domestic supply of lithium. So again, there's companies from around the world that are coming here to find out, how do we get more lithium produced globally, and in particular in North America. And again, as I mentioned, this is a huge concern from governments in Canada and in the United States, from the auto manufacturers to other mining companies, in ensuring that these projects get developed and ultimately get permitted. So a lot of energy enthusiasm here already this morning, with hundreds of people attending, but huge concern over where is this lithium going to come from. It is absolutely required as we get into this green economy.
That's what's so interesting about, for me especially, our projects that are North American, but even more intently Canadian or US, because the demand is going to be so great, and we have such an opportunity to be a part of a giant shift in energy. And we can see certainly both the Biden administration as well as the Canadian administration kind of tapping its head and acknowledging that the requirement for lots of battery energy metals is needed, but specifically lithium. I mean, they're really putting a focus on that.
Well, and really that is the vision of our company here, is to be a North American provider of lithium to the domestic market. As you mentioned, we've got 2 projects in Nevada and 2 projects in southeastern Manitoba, and they're very well situated. I don't think there is a junior company out there that has this world-class portfolio of projects. We have our core project in Clayton Valley, Nevada, which is the epicenter of lithium development in the US. We are contiguous to the northwest of Albemarle's Silver Peak project, which has been producing lithium since 1966 and is the only place in the US that's been producing lithium. And we are their northwest neighbor. We've been very busy at that project. We had 2 phases of geophysics in the fall, ultimately got permitted to drill. And again, over the last couple of weeks, we've been drilling at that project. It's a lithium brine target that we're going after. There's very few companies that are drilling for brine in North America. We're one of those companies. And we've got good news. Drilling went extremely well. We've reached multiple intervals in the formation, which we think could have productivity. We're into the aquifer. We're seeing increasing brine as we get to greater depths. And so, again, everything that we thought we were hoping to do has gone well so far. My team completed sampling over the last week and into the morning. We actually just completed that this morning, and looking forward to sending those results off to the lab and then delivering results sometime later this summer. So again, a really exciting time for ACME. We are hoping to make a discovery here, and we'll provide news to our investors over the coming months.
Yeah, that hole, that DH1, that was to about 1,400 feet or about 427 meters in depth. And how long do you think, I mean, this is a tough question. How long do you think it might take to get those results back?
Well, I mean, labs are very busy these days, and as much as we can try to push and rush results, there is a lineup, of course. I think best case scenario, we're going to be end of July. I think more realistically, sometime in August. Again, time will go by fast here, especially in the summertime, and we'll have the results before you know it. So again, we're pushing as hard as we can. Everything has gone very well so far in our drilling. And really now it's a question of, do we have economic grade lithium? And can we be, one of the first companies to announce a brine discovery in the US here in recent years?
And I'm not to put any words in your mouth, but are there kind of, and you talked a little bit about them, but are there indicators that you can talk about? Because of course, the truth machine or the assays will tell the true story. But from what you saw and what the geologists saw and from what was coming out, what were kind of the things that did it look, this is tough, but did it look like what you'd see at Albemarle? Is it following your thesis? Is it looking like it's on trend kind of thing?
Well, in our geophysics, we certainly had a target that we were going after in around 1,200 feet. And knowing the history of that valley and drilling that's been done historically where the aquifer is and where brine has intensified, and obviously where there's been lithium-bearing intervals, we intersected those intervals that we were hoping to intersect. So great permeability. We did downhole geophysics as well. We were fortunate to be able to do that. It's not always easy to complete that, but we were able to do that. And we saw that there was some indications that we were into certainly salty brine aquifer that certainly is the right permeability and the right horizons that we were going after. So we are in the right area. The question is it lithium bearing and at what grade? So, time will tell. And, so far drilling's gone well, but really the truth is going to be in those results. And we're going to get them here very soon.
Good. Now, is there anything in that Biden infrastructure bill? I mean, they've allocated a lot of money towards battery energy to lithium. Exactly. Are there grants? Is there anything you could apply to? Is there any kind of thing that you might be able to leverage at all from that whole infrastructure?
Yeah, there are a number of departments or divisions that accept certain applications for funding. There's a $750 million fund, for example, that is being utilized to advance projects in the United States. In a lot of cases, it relates to when you're in feasibility, and are for advanced projects. Some of it relates to permitting, which is obviously a critical piece in ultimately getting a project into production. And some of the funding relates to new technology in the advancement of new technology to ensure that we're reducing not just CapEx and OpEx, but also doing it in an environmentally and sustainable way. So I think, new technology is going to be very important. Direct lithium extraction is something you may hear called DLE that companies are using now to advance lithium projects for brine. You don't have to use brine ponds. There's some really interesting new technology that's coming to market and being invested in that we hope to evaluate and ultimately use at our projects. Schlumberger and Panasonic have a joint venture. They're one of our neighbors, and they're building a DLE pilot plant And so that's something that we're evaluating very closely as well. And that certainly could be something that we could be using at our project in collaboration down the road. Again, we're a long ways away from that, but it's something that we will continue to evaluate. I actually have already met with a couple of DLE companies so far this morning that would like to evaluate our brine. So, part of this conference here is to continue to advance the company. We're looking into the future. And I'm not going to assume that we've made a discovery, but we certainly have to look ahead as to the next steps as to what we're going to do as a company in growing the business over the next few years. Excellent.
Now, what's the next steps with Manitoba, or is there anything else happening this summer while we're waiting on the assay results?
Well, it's been a very busy time, and the benefit of having multiple projects is, that we can continue to deliver and advancements of news to our shareholders. And so we actually have some work going to be starting this summer at Fish Lake Valley, which is the valley over from Clayton Valley. And then in Manitoba, we have an extensive program that's starting here in the next 10 days to 2 weeks. We've got airborne geophysics starting here in about 10 days. And then we have a major soil and till sampling and chip sampling program that's starting on both of our projects here in about 10 days to 2 weeks that will take place throughout all of July and August. So we're going to be very busy in Manitoba. We've got some more work to do at Fish Lake Valley, and then obviously we're hoping to advance our Clayton Valley project. So it's going to be our busiest season to date. Again, we're hoping to make not just one discovery, but hopefully a discovery in Manitoba as well. We have a major drilling campaign planned for Manitoba in the fall. Again, things are very busy, but it's an exciting time for Acme Lithium.
No, and it's good to hear that too, because a lot of people are sensing that kind of chaos in the market, and there's a lot of negativity out there on all fronts. So if people can kind of keep their eyes on the prize and just focus a bit more in the future and kind of focus on, say, what you're doing and see all the hard work to create the opportunity to solve some of these problems that we're facing, I think it's a great way to look at things, because if we can find more lithium, if we can start really pushing this electrification of the future forward, it would certainly be a big win.
Well, we have to look at the long term here, or medium to long term anyways, as to what our vision is as a company. Day to day, there's a busyness in our operation in advancing these projects, but we have to look at what's going to be happening 2, 3, 4 years out. Lithium demand's going to continue to be there. It's a crisis in North America. The capital markets are going to be up and down, and really that's out of our control. The good news is that we're well capitalized. I've got about $11.6 million cash in the bank. I've got more than enough capital to meet all of our work being done in Clayton Valley, our work being done in Manitoba this year, and some potential work in Fish Lake Valley. So we've got some very good shareholders, some institutions that are betting on our team and our projects. And again, we're well financed, over the next year or two to hopefully advance our projects and create value. And that's really my ultimate goal as CEO. I work for the shareholders. Creating shareholder value is my number one priority.
Excellent. Well, I'm looking forward to catching up with you after the event too, because all those conversations and that sense from everyone it's nice to have that sense in person as well. Especially once again, while the markets might be down, people have got their head down and they're solving a lot of these issues and problems we're facing. We look forward to having that conversation whenever you get back.
Absolutely. Well, the next 60 days are going to be very busy for us, and certainly we'll have some new news for our shareholders. It's going to be a busy conference, and look forward to talking to you again, Andrew. Thank you for your time today.
Excellent. Thanks so much, and all the best.